Check out the Marcus and Manny show.
I hate you both right now. You guys are ridiculous.
I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Remember to like the video and subscribe.
Welcome everyone to another edition of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I'm of course Lord Manny. Hey Hayes, and I'm always joined by
Oh ho! Marcus the Grand Finale. And yes, we're matching. I don't give a damn. 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 I don't give a damn.
just before anyone assumes, we did not plan this. as funny as it would have been to say we planned this, we did not plan this.
No. You saying that make it sound like we are a couple, and you're trying to deny it, Manny. Both of us want Luigi today, okay? Maybe, instead of one should have been Mario, the other could have been Luigi, but we both planned on being Luigi. So we are not the same person, but we are molded into one show, and we think alike, like any great tag teams. So,
which is part of the reason why I took my glasses off and put my contact lenses on, because many people that watch this show, not mainly our fans, but anyone that I shoot it out and go, and that may know me and go, look what I'm doing. They go, oh, you look alike. I'm like, thanks, guys.
Thanks. I don't know how Manny looks at that. I find that as, he was sticking his ass, damn, I do not look like that fat motherfucker with the beard. And I'm going like, I don't look like that fat motherfucker with the beard. And so we're going back and forth with this. And we're just going to live our life like this. But, it's the Sharpshooter's way. We all have to look alike in the Sharpshooter's world. Only Wes has hair.
So while you said no one will give a damn, Jerry Bishop is here live, says he gives a damn. And he also wants
you don't have to give a damn.
And he says, sing the Wayans Brothers theme, Marcus.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five. Bang. Oh, wait. Bang. The camera's on this side. So, Manny, I've come to the conclusion. The only time Shotzi Blackheart doesn't die on camera is when she does the intro for the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Because she dies every week. She dies.
So, on that note, it seems like you want to talk about NXT first.
I don't even know. I just want to talk about someone protect Shotzi Blackheart because she's going to kill herself on television doing probably basic moves.
I feel let's start off with AEW because I want to talk about the Black Parade once again.
You don't want to talk about allergic knees and Tegan Knox? All right, we'll talk about the Black Parade. All right.
Allergic knees is our main event. That is the sharpshooter's creation. It's our main event.
Okay, let's talk about the Black Parade.
So, AEW opens up with a very good match between Ricky Starks and Darby Allin. But do you know of this guy that did the promo work for Darby Allin? His name was JPEG Mafia.
What?
Yeah. And I only know that because, what's his face? Excalibur pointed him out and said, "Oh, that was JPEG Mafia talking about Darby Allin." I'm like, "Who the hell is JPEG Mafia?"
All right, did you Google him and look him up? Did you do your due diligence and research to look who JPEG Mafia is?
No, because with a name like that, you already sound ridiculous.
Oh, come on. It's more ridiculous name than JPEG Mafia, like P&G Mafia or GIF Mafia.
Tomorrow I shall be called Giddy McQueen.
Can I be Marvin the Mean Manson? Let me be that. If we're going to go with corny ass image names, let's go with it.
So I thought this was a really good opening match, which I was surprised about because normally they open up with a tag match. These two had a very good chemistry, and everything for me worked in this match, with the exception of them teasing a run-in by Brian Cage.
I mean, he came in there,
and he was immediately stopped by Will Hobbs. But like, this match didn't need this. Like, other than that, this match was like perfect to be an opener for AEW.
Yeah, I like you, Manny. I was shocked they started with a singles match, and I was like, "Oh, this is the new AEW. They're gonna start with a singles match. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited." And they did do have a really good match. They had really good chemistry. Absolute Ricky Starks played Absolute Ricky Starks. Darby Allin played the Daredevil, who came out with strategy and some technique to start the match, and everybody was shocked. My favorite thing, that we did not prepare for that. We did not prepare for this at all. We were not prepared. I didn't know he had a ground game. He worked on it in 1 week. He had 1 week to work on his ground game. Damn it.
So, when I was a young boy, my father once took me to the city.
It did what, Manny? It did what?
To see a marching band.
Ooh. And then what did he tell you?
He said, "Son, when you grow up." I can't remember the rest.
It probably involved something about would you fight all the non-believers, or fight for the non-believers or something, and the broken and the damned, somewhere around there, or a broken dam he has to fix. I'm not sure. It's very emo, so you never know what could happen.
Well, anyway, he came out. So last week he was wearing his dashing black suit. How come this week he came out looking like a dirty stop out? Like he'd been out all night and then came to the ring like he did a walk of shame. Like the shirt was unbuttoned, the shirt jacket looked a bit more disheveled.
He looked like the 35-year-old man in the back of the club, and you're like, don't let him near any of these ladies' drinks. Because he is going to roofie them, or worse, just talk to them and talk about his Black Parade. Like, it was very, very emo. He came out, and he said his piece, and then he got very dramatic, as Cody seems to get. And when he was like, "No, I'm not going to fight this dog collar match against Mr. Brody. No, that's brutal. It's brutal. I'm not going to do it." And he walks away. And everybody's like, "Wow, I can't believe he said no." And in my head, I went, he's coming back. Just the way he was walking.
But before he got to that, he was like, he opened up with saying he was embarrassed. He lost the TNT title in 3 minutes. But then Hollywood called.
Yeah. Oh. Fuck this. Woo! I'm out the hospital bed. He pulled the best Grandpa Joe I've ever seen. Like, I ain't injured. I'm gonna work with Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson. But then again, if I had the opportunity to work with Snoop Dogg and Rosario Dawson, I'm getting out the hospital bed too. Just saying. Seems like a good time.
So, as you mentioned, Cody did walk out of the ring saying no. But then he walked back in the ring. And it led to the best 90s impression of a wrestler ever. No regrets. No regrets. No, and no looking back. We enter much different than we leave. TNT title, dog collar match next week. I accept. I nearly lost my voice.
So, Manny, if I were to ask you a question, let's say, hey, would you want to go get a donut from, I don't know, Krispy Kreme? How would you answer that?
If you would ask me if I wanted a Krispy Kreme donut,
yeah,
I would say give me one now and warm it up.
You don't know how to answer questions, there, man. You go, no regrets, no. I'm gonna eat this and I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't care how fat I get. No, I have never ever said no to a Krispy Kreme donut in my life, and I can't wait to eat this Krispy Kreme donut right now.
Marcus, you again answered your own question wrong, because the answer clearly would have been no. I'm gonna eat my Krispy Kreme donut, And then I'm gonna eat your Krispy Kreme donut. And they're gonna
And it's gonna be brutal.
They're gonna amalgamate in my mouth.
Or if you hang out with your friends, do you want a drink? No! As in, I'm an alcoholic and I have never said no ever. No! I'm taking 3 more shots. No! 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 I'm a 5-year-old boy. I don't know. But I laughed my ass off because I was like, this was so dramatic, Dave Brown shit. When he walked away. And then Joey Brody's response of, I think he deserves his ass kicked. For acting like this. For playing with my emotions.
What do you make of what happened afterwards? Because I thought it was pretty weak. The pull apart that happened. So the pull aparts happen. Everyone separates for a bit. When then the thirst trap Brandy comes out, does a terrible senton outside to the ring.
I was worried for her life. Even though Shotzi Blackheart dies every week, whenever Brandy attempts to do anything, I'm worried for her life, and I thought she was going to die. As in, no, please don't do that moonsault or that flip, Brandy. No, the Dark Order hasn't been good at catching people. No, another dead black woman. You can't have that on television.
And then, so whilst a pull apart is happening in the ring, a second pull apart, a pull apart within pull apart. This is Inception pull aparts between Anna Jay and Brandy Rhodes, which was even weaker than the one going on in the ring.
Yes, because for some reason Nia Jax got involved. I think Luther was a part of this pull apart as the later one as well. And it just seemed like the AEW Russ, they just kind of lost all control, and chaos erupted. You know, for what it was, I enjoyed it. But I didn't understand why Brody was upset. He got everything he wanted. He got the dog out of the match.
No, because you'll forget one thing, Marcus.
Yes.
What kind of man lets his wife post thirst traps on Instagram while calling me daddy?
I think that's what it's all about. And, you know, I'm always judging a heel or a wrestler by their suit collection. Brody's green suit, this is like the 3rd time he's worn it. I believe he needs to get some better suits. Just say.
Well, all his suits are checkered, if I'm believe correct, because I'm pretty sure he's got the same one in blue.
Yeah. He really needs to upgrade his suit game if he wants to be Mr. Brody. I've never seen Vince McMahon in the same suit twice. Just say.
And then, so we now have an FTR promo with Tony Schiavone. They claim that they did the best friends a favor last week by walking out, as they weren't ready. They weren't 100%. They called the best friends glorified backyarders at best, and they are participation trophy guys. SCU are 2 of the best in the world. And then Tony Schiavone then asked them about the Young Bucks and states every time they got a chance, they blew it. And then was listing all their failures. Star ratings don't equal championships, is what I gathered from that. And he is 100% correct.
Yes.
And that leads to Matt Jackson appearing and super kicking Tony when FTR reference why they picking on the ref and old men. Kick us.
Yeah. I don't even understand the direction they went. It seemed like they decided that we're just going to turn all the elite to heels.
Well, Jerry Bishop
Except for Hangman Page. Huh?
Jerry Bishop talking about suits said, and you've never seen Vince in a good suit.
You know, from time to time, he has a good one.
You say that, Jeremy, but I reckon, because I know for a fact, his suit costs more than my rent.
For a year, Manny! For a year! You think you should... Yeah, it's not just like that 1 month. It's probably that year of you. He's paying maybe $100,000 or whatever it is for rent a year. You know, about $20,000 probably. That's probably a $20,000 suit. But his suits are most of the time, I agree with Jeremy, are butt ugly. But there's occasionally he pull out a suit and I go, that look good on Vince.
So emailed us when, you guys do AEW reviews.
Yes. We judge all of AEW. Their suits, Brandy flips, and promos alike. But with that being said, uh, I enjoyed the FTR SCU tag match. It was solid. But they need to be done, I think, with SCU or break up some of these tag teams. They just got way too many. And I believe Scorpio Sky and even Kazarian can have a decent run by themselves if they let them.
Yeah, I think this match was really good. The only thing that let it down was that Hangman Page was actually on commentary. So Kenny and Hangman Page have ruined tag matches for the last 3 weeks.
Well, they're trash. They're trash. No, they ruined singles. They ruined singles match. Kenny ruined singles. He ruined Hangman singles matches. Adam Page, who did not know that Kenny Omega is a singles wrestler now, is shocked at the notion. Like, no, we're gonna work it together. And then Excalibur's like, hey, there's gonna be a tournament Kenny Omega is into. And Hangman Page's like, well, damn, he really is going singles.
This motherfucker.
This motherfucker, he could have called me. I'm still registered in the tag team division. What were you doing last week having singles matches? So, yeah, but I enjoyed the match. It was 20 minutes. It was a brush and go, and the FTR did their shit, and it worked. I enjoyed it. Like, to me, the start of AEW was really good. I really enjoyed the start. Like, the first 3 matches, and even the Cody and Brody segment, I enjoyed it. But, the Brandy flip, I didn't need. Killing the Dark Order.
So, the next match, well, I thought they were on a really good roll, to be honest.
Oh, no, did I see a comment that TNA was way better than AEW? And I might have to agree with that, talent-wise.
So, Emold said TNA was way better than AEW, and then all my fell apart in the end. They are still alive, though. They are, but
Are they?
RVD, and the other, what's his girl's name?
Katie Forbes, the Queen's work.
They are now free agents. I'm not sure WWE are going to pick him up.
I'm pretty sure Katie Forbes made more money on OnlyFans than she did in Impact. And RVD apparently been in talks with WWE.
Apparently, he didn't pass a medical.
Yeah, why would he? He's like 60. Have you seen him? He looks horrible. I wouldn't bring RVD in unless he was going to play Matt Riddle's dad and never wrestle.
So moving on. So Isaiah Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. Another great match, I thought. But not great.
But
it
was okay.
I saw some things that show that Isaiah Cassidy is lacking experience. There was a part in this match where I literally saw Chris Jericho roll Cassidy over to make a Cassidy pin him.
I'm just happy nobody get hurt. I mean, Cassidy's only 23. I mean, Jericho's 50. It just seemed like, I don't know. It was them trying to elevate, I guess, Cassidy? I don't know what the point of this was other than just have Jericho fight Luther and Pandemic or whatever the fuck his name is next week. That's all it seemed like it was setting up.
Yeah,
I didn't need this.
I don't really understand why they're getting Old Man Luther involved in what seems an angle for Chris Jericho next week on his 30 years in wrestling celebration next week on AEW. It just does not seem necessary.
Yeah. I just think this Jericho worship in this company is out of control. It's out of control.
Yeah, well, then it leads... So later on in the evening, Chris Jericho and MJF have a little backstage promo. Well, Jericho in the Inner Circle, where it seems like MJF is trying to drive a wedge between Jericho and Sammy. Where he hands them all jackets, and he doesn't have one for Sammy. And then the time-old question when it was before, when Jericho had asked MJF if he had wanted to join the Inner Circle, but then he answered back with a question and asked, do you want me to join the Inner Circle? And it seems like it was going on again, and it feels like we revisited this thing from way back, what seems like November.
Yeah. Or last year, so I didn't need this. I didn't care. It was a fine segment, but I'm not the best person to judge this segment because I started to nod off at this point.
So Jeremy asked, is there a wrestler pandemic? That's good, some crazy good cheap heat.
I honestly don't remember who the wrestler was. I know it's some luchador in the mask and it starts with a P. So I'm calling him Pandemic. It's probably something not Pandemic. It's probably Pandero or Patrono or Patronus. But I think it may be Pandemic. Who knows? Oh no,
What
this is a
was
good time.
what was the announcer's name? TNA. Not the old guy.
Don West?
Don West. When you
It's
talk the
epidemic.
epidemic.
It's academic. Oh, one of the great commentators of all time because no one had loved TNA or anything they have done more than the way DW Donald West did. Don West did TNA. He was selling that shit like the best baseball card on the planet, which is what he used to do. Didn't matter what they did. He was in awe. He like people forget that how they Mole is yelling in the microphone and going "Mamma Mia" and all that. Don West did this already and was even more insane. He'd be so worked up on every single segment and nothing would be happening.
So there are a few segments to me that meant nothing. So there was a Miro and Kip Sabian segment where they're trying to plan a bachelor party, and Miro's trying to make it Rumspranger, which I'm assuming is a Amish type deal. I don't understand, and nor did I investigate or research on
No.
that.
I have no idea what they're talking about, and when I was watching this segment, I was like, "Is this what you left for right here?"
Yeah, I was like, you were doing this exact same shit in WWE, so I don't know why you left.
What was your gripe with them? Like, if you're doing this shit, like I'm gonna do this segment and we're gonna throw Billy Mitchell in there and shit, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, he doesn't have to do a wedding segment.
Yeah, and then
Just be a monster.
There was an Orange Cassidy versus 10 match of the Dark Order. It kind of just happened. Orange Cassidy winning, and then Britt Baker returns against 0-7 Red Velvet.
Looking thick. According to Jim Ross. According to Jim Ross, she's thicker. I almost called you Eric, Manny. She got bigger arms, and she been doing her leg muscles. That's according to the wrestlers or the commentators on AEW. And I was like, looks like Britt. Nothing real change.
She looked exactly the same.
But she beat the shit out of 0-7 Red Velvet. Beat the shit out of her.
It was an okay squash match, like to reestablish Britt Baker.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm hoping that when Big Swole gets cleared from COVID, we finally get that proper match we were supposed to have months ago. Not some bullshit dentist match.
Hey, you call it bullshit. I call it maybe comedy gold, but it was really long.
And then the main event was the Butcher and John Moxley, which started off with Eddie Kingston wanting to get the referee for last week. The result where he allegedly did not tap or submit. The ref said he was saving him from himself.
Yeah. You know what? You want to know what my problem with this was?
What?
Eddie Kingston tried to intimidate this referee. It looked. This is really a step under than what Roman was doing at Clash of Champions. I was more scared for Charles Robinson's life than I was for this guy. He's like, I know you for 18 years, and we're like practically family. But Charles Robinson almost died. That's how the Roman Reigns standing up to Roman Reigns. Just talking. Just doing his job. I said, stay in this corner and don't say another word. Okay? This is family business. And I was like, he's going to kill that man in that very moment. And in this one, Eddie Kingston is hanging out with this guy, and I was like, nothing's happening here. I don't care about this. I did like the Butcher and Moxley. I thought this was a pretty solid match. Should it have main evented? No. But I don't see what else in the show would have been the main event. Because I enjoyed the show, but it also felt like a throwaway show at the same time. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good match, but you kind of just knew John Moxley wasn't going to win. I'm sorry. Like, you're not going to put the title on the Butcher. Like,
The Butcher.
I know this company is all about everyone gets a shot and everything, but like, If you're talking money, there's no money in the Butcher being your world heavyweight champion. There's money in him possibly being one of your tag team champions. There's no money being him being a singles champion.
Hey, if the Butcher became champion, Manny, I feel like that should be somebody's money in the bank in our group. And the Butcher is now AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
That should be Eric's because Eric likes the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we give Eric the money in the bank if the Butcher wins the world title. He is now the new heavyweight champion. But because the Butcher looked good, it was just not believable that he was gonna win this, and that he got choked out was inevitable. And the finish to this show, you could tell it was hit by the COVID that they just didn't. They're just stalling to get to the Murder Hawk or whatever because there was no reason to have this as the main event.
So I'm going to ask you this because I was thinking about this earlier. Who had the better debut? Because like realistically, you got the Murder Hawk, who was their allegedly big signing back then, and then you have Miro, who is their hugest signing for in ages, and I feel like they're doing nothing with Miro. Like they're wasting him in this Kip Sabian gimmick.
Well, Matt Cardona's gone, so that was their biggest signing. I don't understand why he had a
5 appearance deal is done.
What the fuck was that? Why did he get a lesser contract or some shit? Like, just show up 5 times, all right? But I'm not gonna say Miro is wasted yet.
Marcus Cardona is doing a tired gimmick that has been around since I think 2005. When what was it? What was that? Jersey Shore was the thing.
Yeah, he got hot with that. Remember, he used to do that on the old ECW. On ECW! On the WWE on Sci-Fi, ECW was doing the logo. Like, so, he's Matt Cardona. That's all you can say. But on that, I want to say the Murder Hawk was wasted more. Like, he was just treading water after his debut, and he was just on dark. Miro is still in, I guess, the infancy stages. We don't know. Like, I don't understand why they have to do his wedding angle with him as being the best man. Eric is right. I hate it. I'm starting to hate it because it doesn't. I just thought, they're going to call him the best man. I didn't think he was actually going to just be the best man at somebody's wedding. I feel like that is useless at this point.
Okay, so let's move on to NXT. NXT opened up with in my opinion, probably the best women's match of the week between Shotzi Blackheart and Dakota Kai, even though Shotzi, as we mentioned at the start of the show, nearly died.
Nearly died again! And I say this every week. She dies. But for me, what I got for this match, Shotzi seems to get better every week. Or maybe it's the opponent she's wrestling, but like it seemed this was different than her match with Io. And it was just as good though. I was like, man, they're really building up the Shotzi Blackheart, and soon enough she's gonna show up on the main roster or some shit. And we're never gonna use her.
Well, I did check out some of her stuff on the WWE network when she was involved. And it's actually pretty good. Like she's quite new to the business at that point, but like she seemed pretty good even at that point, like even being like fresh. So like the stuff we saw like in the early days of Shotzi Blackheart, we weren't seeing it all, and it seems like now we're getting quite a lot of it. And you saw quite a lot of different types of moves happen, like that weird submission hold she had Dakota Kai in.
That was a really good submission hold.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that could be somebody's finisher, but she just did it.
And then there was I thought, on the whole, the back and forth bits on NXT this week were great. So like, the first one was Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yes, in their individual studios.
Yeah, in the split screen thing. But I'm more impressed. I don't know how long Escobar's been in America or how long he's spent in America.
Well, he's been Lucha Underground for a while.
He's miles ahead of Garza and Andrade in terms of like the English language. Like his promos didn't seem like he was trying to remember and read off a card. Whereas, like, you get that from Andrade when he was speaking his broken English on Raw this week. And
Yeah.
Garza, I think he's all right. Like, I think he's just putting on an extra accent to make him sound more Mexican at times.
Well, that's just how he sounds. I think it's just because he's reading the script and it's different. I think the scripts are written differently in NXT and from the main roster because Escobar was very casual, just sitting back being cool in his I'm assuming his $7,000 chair. I'm just gonna call it, and his $80,000 robe, and then Swerve was in the back of some studio. It's just with some LEDs or whatever. But I enjoyed their back and forth. It seemed natural. Both men seemed very confident in their own abilities, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then that led into a really nice video package talking about Kyle's lead up to to where he is now. So interestingly, in the media calls going into NXT Takeover, Triple H had stated that there was a push going for Kyle, but it was going to happen later down the line. However, the current situation with NXT and COVID, with this underground party some people seem to have, sped this up.
So it's because of COVID, Kyle's getting thing. But I've always enjoyed Kyle. He's a really good wrestler, whether tag team or singles. And we got a little bit of his personality in the what is it called, Prime Factor, and then in the closing segment, which is good. But I still don't feel the heat between him and Finn Balor. Like, I know they're having this match, but it just seems like this could just happen on NXT. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be a bit takeover.
Yeah, well,
Even though I know it's gonna be amazing. I know it's gonna be an amazing match.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like
the sit down between Kyle and Finn was great. Like, with everything, the production, it was like this heated background music that just added to the tension in the room.
And Shawn Michaels starting shit.
Shawn Michaels was starting so much shit in there.
He had no reason. It was cool. I respect you. You respect me. Yeah, I do. Fuck all that. Shawn Michaels aside.
And then so Finn, you had Finn highlighting that Kyle is actually good, while Shawn Michaels claimed that Kyle is one of the best kept secrets, and Finn was like, no, maybe to fringe wrestling fans and the casual wrestling fan, not to like people that know wrestling and have seen Kyle's work in other companies. And then the main thing Kyle said, which I thought was quite funny, was going into this match as the underdog is absolute bullshit.
Oh, my favorite Kyle description is how the undisputed. He gave us the mechanics of how the undisputed era actually works. This is one head. This is my other head. Look at them. What they doing? They are watching each other, and that's how we work. And I went, I don't understand how that worked. I'm assuming you can't do one without the other. Was he planning on cheating? Is that what he was bringing up? I enjoyed that. Finn's character is borderline a realistic fighting character who criticized wrestling fans. It's basically his gimmick at this point. Yeah. It just seems like I really hate wrestling fans. That's what his whole gimmick is. He's like, I ain't putting nobody. Like, he uses all the buzz terms, but I feel like he uses them correctly and in the right context in which he's not like saying wrestling's fake. But it's all, but and I enjoy it. And he looked like the champion. Kyle looks like the underdog challenger. To me, it looked like the Lakers versus the Miami Heat, in which that's the champion right there. And those are the challengers. You may root for them, but they got no chance in hell of winning.
So,
just
Marcus,
like
Jeremy said the explanation Kyle was saying about the hands was they bathe together, Marcus. They
You watch my back, I watch your back. And we say nothing in public.
We ride together, we bathe together. All right, my G.
Undisputed for life. And that's undisputed. So do you think that... Oh, go ahead.
No. You go with your question before I move on.
I was going to say, they tease that, it may bring a rift between him and Adam Cole. Do you think that's where they're going with this? Do you think it's just going to be Colorado and Adam Cole going at it?
Not really. Possibly, but I don't think we have to see what happened, what they do with the draft. That could see a lot. So like, they could have Kyle win on Saturday, and then they stomp out Adam Cole as the leader, and that's when you see Adam Cole get drafted somewhere on Friday on SmackDown on the 9th, which would be an interesting dynamic. It's kind of the way he left Indies to join Raw to join NXT, where they actually physically killed him off on being the elite.
Yeah. Would you like to separate? Would you separate Undisputed Era for the main roster? Do you think Adam Cole is better without that? I feel like he would be better with the Undisputed Era on the main roster and just use those guys together. Maybe they can feud with the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I think they should have them all together. But if you're looking to push Kyle and not have Adam around, I think it's time. Like, it's time for the Undisputed Era to move on, almost.
Yeah, but they're so small by themselves.
And like, you gotta have to realize, like, Adam Cole is just the poster child for WWE to do promotion. Just look at the man; he's a handsome man. Look at those piercing eyes, handsome man.
He got a big head, but yeah. As Kyle said, Adam Cole is a handsome man. Look at me. I got weird ears and freckles. And Finn goes, I knocked those freckles off, buddy. I knocked your freckles off. Oh. So, yeah, that's where we at. What are there other stuff that happened on the show? Oh, the main event.
No, Marcus. So, our main event on last Saturday, the Sharpshooters podcast, Eric made a fatal mistake, which I corrected, but led to an incredible joke.
Yes.
He was talking about allergic knees. The clear word he was talking about was contagious. But that gave birth to allergic knees, much like Eric has given birth to the doublet, even though it is. So
I'm calling it doublet. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
So we learned that Tegan Knox allergic knees have struck again and suffered a torn ACL, which I think is unfortunate. I don't know if it's true or if it's storyline wise.
I'm thinking it's true. I don't know why you would say ACL if it's not true. I'm sure it wasn't in no match that she tore. Maybe it was doing something else. But
I don't think you would have pulled that spot they did last week if it was a torn ACL.
It could go either way. They didn't actually do anything other than she just fell down, right? I can't remember the spot exactly.
So Jeremy said Eric gets many words wrong, but we love him.
It's called...
Many words is a stretch because I think it's a lot or almost all.
We need to come out and sell the Eric Dictionary of wrestling terms and words. And 90% of them are words you think you knew, but they have changed forever. Like, you just put singlet? No, a doublet.
A doublet.
Occasionally a triplet. But Tegan's injury seems unfortunate. I mean, she's young, and it's like her third knee injury in the past, whatever her short career has been.
It's the fourth. I think it's the fourth.
Something like that. She's at this point, I would be considering hanging it up. Like, damn.
I think at this stage, she's had almost more surgeries than Rey Mysterio on his knees.
Yeah. Jesus. Like, it has to just be like bone on bone. She's going through it. And, it's unfortunate for her that she has to, go through this recovery. If it's true, which I believe it is, because you don't go ACL unless it's really like an ACL. I don't think it's from the attack, though.
And she was having a run, to be honest, until this happened. So I feel bad for her. So before we get into the main event, Cameron Grimes.
Yes, I forgot about this.
Created the Cameron Grimes Invitational Stepping Stones to the Moon match.
He had that long introduction.
And he handpicked all his opponents. His first opponent was Joey Pistachio.
The second greatest wrestling name of all time. Joey Pistachio, under the pandemic, Joey Pistachio might be the greatest wrestling name of all time. And he got his ass whooped in under 30 seconds.
And then his next challenger was called Joey Strong. But he wasn't strong because he got beat up by the Northern Ridge Holland. And he makes his way to the ring. Ridge gets DQ as he stomps out Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
And
He
then,
beat the shit out of him. He did the one thing that I wanted to do to Cameron Grimes. It just beat the living shit out of him.
And so later on the evening, you see Cameron Grimes looking for Willie Regal, nursing his wounds, demanding that he isn't talking to anyone. When he runs into Dexter Lumis, who just gives him that piercing, scary look.
Grr. It's nice to see Dexter Lumis back. I would still like to see him and Dream team up. I really wanted that tag team, damn it. Oh, we also got the Kushida package, huh?
Yeah.
There was a lot of packages on this show.
And they were all good. But there was one thing that I don't think he should have done during that package. I really don't think he should have done this thing in this package.
Show Kushida's kids?
No. So at one point he said, he ended the sentence with explode. And then the next word was Velveteen Dream. And I don't think you should ever put those words two together in this time, in this world.
Oh,
right
allegations. Now. Allegations.
But he's saying that Velveteen's going to be a stepping stone to him being in the center of NXT. The new Kushida is vicious, which led to a quick squash match of him beating Coney Nice.
When I think of Kushida, even though he was, he's being more aggressive lately, I just don't want to start calling him Vicious Kushida. Kushida the Vicious one or whatever. Kushida Vicious. Like, I don't imagine it. I look at him and go like, this guy can't be vicious.
Oh, he's not
a little guy.
There's only one person that could have been vicious, and that was Sid.
Yes.
Vicious.
Yes. And that's the real name. That's his real name, damn it.
And then so we had that Austin Theory chatting shit in the back about Kyle O'Reilly. Which led to Adam Cole calling about talking about 3 years of dominance of Undisputed Era and calling out Austin Theory to say all that shit to his face.
Yeah. And then Austin Theory was like, bitch, let's fight. And then they had their match. And it looks really good. It seemed like a really solid match. Although, unfortunately, I had to go back and watch it because it sounded good, but I know I fell asleep on it. And it was nothing against any of them. I was just really tired and I watched it this morning.
Well, it was a really good match. I enjoyed this match. In the notes I wrote, it's just the perfect time for Undisputed Era to close this chapter on NXT and just move on to either Raw or SmackDown. Which I think at least one of them is moving come the draft, and it probably.
Well, I would definitely move Red Dragon.
I don't think so. I think they're keeping Kyle on NXT for a while.
Maybe Kyle stays by himself, but Bobby Fish goes and just be a trainer. But you got to call Roderick up. Roderick is a good hand. You can put him on any show, and he works.
I don't think they will.
Just put Roderick on any of the main roster shows, and it works. It makes sense.
I think
he can't have a bad match with anybody, huh?
I think Roderick's gonna stick around and be a trainer.
He can do that too. This all in Florida. You put him on a main roster. You have him wrestle Drew Gulak on TV every now and then. Maybe some Dan Bryan, some riddle matches. Align him with maybe King Corbin. Just go through the full mid-card garment of shit that people go through on SmackDown and Raw of like, oh, I gotta fight Mustafa Ali this week and lose and never be seen again, and then show up with Dana Brooke one day. Whatever the case goes on in the mid-roster, Roderick just works, and I'm always happy to see Roderick.
So moving on to the main event. Towards the beginning of the show, we hear from Johnny and Candice, who are talking about Tegan Nox's allergic knees. Candice states it had to be done. Johnny...
What does that ever have to be done?
Johnny was stating that it was karma. She breaks my TV, you tear her ACL. Even Stevens. So heartless. And then they interview Io Shirai and Damian Priest backstage, which just looks so weird.
Yeah, because he's so tall, she's so small, but they're the greatest rock star duo in the history of NXT, apparently. That's what they were telling them as.
He called them the Rockstars of NXT, and Io was speaking in Japanese, and but basically left the screen saying he's not bad, which made me think and ask you the question, Marcus: are they fucking?
Yeah, at this point they were fucking. Like, just everything around this seemed like they were fucking, and Evil needs to go get his wife right away and needs to leave to Japan because I believe Damian Priest is fucking his wife. She's been in his hot tub. The way they came out together, they had their interest was combined, and I was like, they're fucking. That's it. The North American champion is fucking the women's champion. So he did going on. By the way, this brings you back to Cody and his promo. Things that were thrown away. When he asked the announcer, "You're a pretty good wrestler," he called the TNT title the new Ace title, which overshadows the AEW title. Oh, he didn't give the tag team championship any credibility when he said there's only really 3 titles that matter, which is Sheeta, um, Brody's, and Moxley. Everybody else's title is bullshit. Yeah, just little stuff like that, Cody, and just the weirdness about it. And then I think he was talking about Al Snow, just little stuff in his promo. I was going like, "What are you talking about?"
Yo, what are you talking about, Al Snow? Being trained by Al Snow is not a big deal. Everyone's trained by Al Snow.
Let me flex on y'all. I was trained by Al Snow, the guy that carried his head around.
And then this was an okay match with solid, and it had solid. It was solid. It was a solid match between Io, Damian Priest, and the Power Couple. Had some really good spots in it. Johnny Gargano and Candice picked up the win, and then hold the belts up. Is that celebrating too prematurely?
I believe so. I don't believe they're winning. Damian Priest can't lose that title too fast because Damian Priest just looks like a star now. Like, I don't know what he did ever since he fought Finn Balor and got that Finn Balor rub. He's just looked like the star, like, of that show.
Earlier in the broadcast, E-Mold had typed up big rumor from inside source that said Io and Priest are headed to Raw and the Garganos are winning the titles. He hates the Garganos.
I can see Priest going to the main roster more than Io for the simple fact, look at that guy. He's everything Vince has ever wanted in Baron Corbin. He's not losing his hair, I don't think. He's big. He has a very dramatic voice. And he looks like a rock and roll star that, he just seems like he has it right now. Like, he looks main roster ready.
I honestly think Io's going to SmackDown because there's literally no one other outside of Bayley and Sasha Banks right now.
Yeah, you could throw her on there. I think they need to just purge NXT. I wouldn't mind, just do a full restart. By the way, we got another vignette of motorcycle dude. Whoever that could be.
That guy's too skinny. That guy's skinny enough to make me still believe it's Bo Dallas.
Well, last time we saw Bo, he kind of was a biker, right?
No, he looked like a sexual fiend.
Something like that. I remember he did something. But I hope it'd be nice if it's Bo. But I honestly don't know. Maybe it's Joe. I know I can't imagine Joe riding that motorcycle like that.
So, what show did you enjoy more?
So, I enjoyed the first half of AEW more than NXT. Like, I really was into the first half of AEW, and then it just kind of like, I don't care about any of this shit that's going on in this show. Like, it was just a drop-off, I feel like. And, it had that, like, raw third hour drop-off when you're going like, what are we feeling? We're just feeling this shit right now. Yeah. And NXT was a very video package, let's sell the pay-per-view on Sunday kind of deal. and some of our storylines, and I enjoyed that. I'm going to actually say it's a draw this week. Even I enjoy, and it's mostly because I fell asleep through some of NXT, and it's nothing against it. It's just I'm tired. But it seemed like it was a draw. I just didn't really enjoy the second half of AEW, but there was a lot of in AEW, NXT I enjoyed, like the Blackheart match and the face to face slash via satellite interview packages I enjoy,
Yeah.
and I think Takeover is going to be fire, and I feel like Santos Escobar and Swerve Scott are going to have the match of the night.
See, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking that, and I thought that would be a cop out answer. Yeah, I definitely felt like it was a tie. I was enjoying AEW up to up to after the Isaiah Cassidy and Jericho match. I feel like that's when it kind of slipped and fell off.
Yeah.
And whereas NXT, I enjoyed the whole show, but there are bits in it that were garbage. Like you didn't really need. Like, but like, yeah, it was enjoyable. Like, I didn't even talk about Kaden Carter picking up a win against Xia. Didn't need to happen.
She did it. You don't want to talk about the rise and fall of Jay-Z? She's sleeping to the dark side. I believe that maybe they're putting her into the new heel spot because they got to reestablish some people. Because I believe they're about to purge that women's division.
So Karen
Raquel,
Bishop has said, "Get some rest, Marcus. Don't let those corporate fatbacks take you down."
they're already doing. I'm literally working 24/7 at this point. I literally live in their hotel. But I think it's gonna be a purge on the women from the NXT. I don't believe that Rhea Ripley's staying down there. I don't believe Raquel Gonzalez is staying down there. Hell, I believe Shotzi's even going up.
I think it's too. I don't think you push. I don't think you send up Shotzi. I think you keep Shotzi around because you need something in your division to stick around. Because like, if they were really to purge NXT, the ratings was finished.
Well, the ratings are already done. The ratings they're already losing. I mean, you purge them, and then you sprinkle in some of your old main roster talent on there. Like, hey, we're gonna give you, here, take Bobby Roode, and maybe they assign James Storm or some shit, and throw some old ass talent on there that makes you go, ooh, let me see what Samoa Joe's doing, or Bobby Roode or something, or Andrade. So I can see it happening either way. But I believe the women's division is getting purged because there's no one on the main roster on either shows that have a woman that you go like they could be stars because they don't use Bianca.
So we will be talking about the first day of the draft on the 10th, which is the Sharpshooters Wrestling podcast on the Saturday because it's starting on SmackDown next week.
Yes,
and then we'll cover the end of the draft from Raw on the Tuesday show. Should Marcus still be alive?
I was hoping to take a vacation, but then I was like, damn it, they are doing a draft. I have to be there for there. I want to take time off of the show.
And then an update on the ESPN Pick'em title. I believe it's starting to become a bit of a mess in terms of what's going on. Like I felt like it took over the show last week. I mean, on Tuesday, and I feel like that shouldn't be what's happening. There won't be a promo video as of for this weekend because all the picks haven't come in, and that doesn't leave me much time to put something out because I believe Takeover Saturday, not Sunday.
Yes. No, it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Are you sure?
Yep. They kept saying this Sunday, and they advertised, I believe, the 4th, which is also Sunday. Or the 5th or something like that.
I think the 4th is...
It's a Sunday show. I know it for a fact.
We might have time, but what I might do is, but if by Saturday, I might just send Eric the graphic of who's got what picks. There won't be promos because I haven't got them in time. So it's basically Wes versus El Luchador 3.
A trilogy! Not since Rock and Austin had there been a better wrestling trilogy.
However, there is a chance they may tie, and given how stacked AEW is next week, that might be thrown into the mix of picks. Because there's only 5 matches on NXT,
Yeah.
so the named matches might be thrown in, but I'll update that on Saturday once I get all the picks in. And then there's a number 1 contenders match. With the Disman versus 2 unnamed competitors.
Oh, triple threat!
Yeah, 2 unnamed competitors, all going on about all going for NXT Takeover. I was initially going to try and screw over Wes by making it a 5-person match.
It's nothing better than a commission going, I was going to screw somebody over. That's sad.
I think we've lost
Not
Marcus.
to.
Oh no! You're right. What were you saying?
Oh no, I'm still here. I thought I lost you. I thought I lost you guys.
It timed out for a second. What did you say?
I said it was nothing better than the commissioner admitting that he was going to screw over somebody out their title.
I know, and then I had a heart, and then I was like, no, I can't make it against 4 people. I may make it a triple threat and throw the Disman in, and just have the two unnamed as the number 1 contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have some change up.
We should do the draft. That should have been the who's going where, who gets the most correct draft picks or whatever. We should have done something like that.
There's too many moving parts in that to make that happen.
But how many are people going to get right? Like if you say this is going to be the NXT, right? If you get like 2 or 3 right, you might win. I would make that the number 1 contender match. You're like, oh, you drafted.
So, but we've done some thoughts in regards to Survivor Series. We'll let you know more in the future about that. But the one thing, and I know Wes is going to watch this, just so you know, Eric has big leagued you. So he messaged me last night and he wanted to face either you or Eric. And I was like, I told him about the situation. Eric doesn't want to face him, but I didn't explain the situation. Eric had big leagued you.
Yes.
I believe his words were, I only perform on big shows, so I'll wait for Survivor Series.
He's like, I'm only doing Survivor Series. I do the major shows. You ain't gonna get me on no Vengeance or Great Balls of Fire.
And he also stated, Manny, when you're the tribal chief, which he's not,
yeah,
people need to wait until I'm ready.
Dude be wildin'.
If anything, he's assaulted tribal beef.
Tribal beef! The tribal beef! There it is, from Beef Lee himself.
The salted tribal beef.
The limits of Beef Lee. He has the limited Beef Lee.
And on that what were you going to say?
No, that's pretty funny. I was like, limited Beef Lee.
Yep, Jeremy, that's complete infringement. Eric tries to claim that he's the tribal chief of this show, when his show barely when our show is about 5 times the amount of views his show gets.
Inexplicably. Which I will always consider probably the better show, because it's just off the cuff. It's always fun.
See, like even the Saturday show last week was probably the funniest show of the week last week that we did, and
30 views.
It only got 30 views, whereas the last show we did was ranging about 120, maybe 100.
And we didn't say shit.
and it was only about Monday Night Raw, and Raw wasn't a good show.
No. I was like, what? Wait, this is booming up. And I'm like, why? Who cares about this Raw?
And on that note, I've been Lord Manny Hayes. He's been,
And Marcus, the grand finale.
and we are the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Peace.
Hey, stay sharp, guys.